Hi everyone, Bifties here. So I've taken about 14 years to complete Orcs Must Die. Well, maybe not 14 years, but I've finally got round to playing it. I owned it on Xbox and I've bought it again on Steam. I've recently played it across both the Steam Deck and on PC. And when I'm playing on PC, I'm on the sofa back there with a controller and I'm playing on a 65-inch TV. So the fact that it works on a big TV and on the Steam Deck, I think is really impressive. I like a game that works on both. That seems to be where I'm at the moment. I've been playing these puzzle platformers, and I normally play bullet hells and ARPGs, but I really like a tower defense game. Now, I don't think there are many out there. Van Helsing Deathtrap is my absolute favorite. Most of you won't have ever heard of it. If you haven't, go check it out. You can pick it up so cheap now, and I did a review of it a while back. I'll try and remember to put a link in the description. But I've played Orcs Must Die finally, and it works really well. It's nearly 15 years old, and it still holds up. It's absolutely fine. It's a little bit different from my normal tower defense because you're actually going to be shooting a lot of things yourself. Often you might do that, but it feels like this is more of a shooter with traps rather than a tower defense traps with some shooting. But I really enjoyed it. It's fun. I did find myself using the same traps a lot of the time, but I found a system that I liked and I enjoyed, and I liked seeing it work. There's a lot of satisfaction that comes from actually setting up a certain choke point and watching your traps actually work. Often I'm going to stand back and I'm not having to shoot. Maybe you're doing more shooting on the first level, the first couple of levels, or the first waves, sorry. And then once your traps seem to kick in, then you can sit back a little bit. Tend to stick to the traps for anything walking or running along the ground. And I'm going to be shooting the flyers, so you're probably going to see some of that in the footage I've put together. The clips that I've got are from some of the later levels because I had completed the earlier levels quite some time ago. But I came back to it. I wanted to finish the game off. I do own the second and third game. I'd forgotten that there is actually a fourth, and that's called Deathtrap. And I was kind of hoping that there would be some crossover between Van Helsing Deathtrap and Orcs Must Die. I don't think they're connected. I'm not familiar. It's Robot Entertainment puts together the Orcs Must Die games, but I think that the most recent one didn't do very well. If I'm looking at it now, it's only got mostly positive, whereas Orcs Must Die has overwhelmingly positive. Number 2's very positive, and number 3 very positive. So I don't know where they went wrong with that. I know in the second and third game, they actually bring in co-op, and my friend and I have tried it co-op in the past, but it didn't work for us as well. I think that maybe these are more single player games, more suited for that. The first game is only single player, but like I said, it works really well on Steam Deck. It's marked down as playable. It's not verified, but it works absolutely fine. I didn't have any issues with it. I maybe preferred it on Steam Deck, but the footage that I've got is from PC. But again, the fact that it works on both sofa big screen and Steam Deck is really impressive for me. Often they don't. Certainly some of the bullet hells that I'm enjoying work really well on the Steam Deck, but they don't work on a big screen TV. I suspect monitors are absolutely fine with PC, but big screen TV maybe is a bit more demanding. Now, this game's 15 years old, but it still holds up really well. It looks good, it feels good, it plays well. I really enjoyed it. There's a comedic side to it. The soundtrack's fine. Maybe gets a little bit annoying after a while, so I've turned the volume down a bit, but I keep it playing. It's still fun. Certainly an old school game. I think I mentioned at the beginning that I owned this on Xbox and just never really got into it or got into playing it. I think the Steam Deck helps there. If I'm enjoying a game on the Steam Deck and it plays well on PC, then that's quite impressive for me. I can move over. Sometimes I might have the TV on. Maybe I'm watching football, watching some sport, watching the UFC, and I've got the Steam Deck and my headphones in, but I can hear both. Being able to do that, probably we're all used to scrolling off on our phones all the time. This is a little bit of a variation on that, TV on while playing Steam Deck. If you haven't done that, then it's worth giving it a go. and I can't recommend the Steam Deck more highly. It's still one of my 2-3 years in from owning it, and it's probably the best buy that I've had in that time. And it's surprising because it means that some of the older games that maybe we would dismiss or maybe not bother with do get some new lease of life. And this is one of them. I'm looking forward to playing the others. You're just playing through the levels. You're going to do the traps. Recommend the sticky floor and the spike traps. They work well. You've got a wall trap that shoots out. That's really good. Pair it with the sticky trap. That's a lot of fun to see it all coming across. And then you've got your ceiling traps, I think, for anything flying. And towards the end of the game, I hadn't tried it before. It's probably on the footage now. A swinging mace-like thing that's going to kill everything. It's nice to set up your choke points. It's satisfying. Really looking forward to going into the second game. It seems a little bit ridiculous to be doing a video about this game, seeing as it's years old, but it still works. And I've just played Limbo and I've played Inside, and they're nearly the same age. I played Portal and Portal 2 recently, and they're about the same age. I just did a video about Deadlight, which is probably a game you're not familiar with, but that's a 2D side-scrolling platformer zombie apocalypse game, and that was really good. 15 years old. So it's great for having the old library. I'm glad I moved over from Xbox, because every time they bring out a new machine, you kind of library. I know that I've been with Steam since the beginning because I'd have a much bigger library, but I bought a lot of the games again that I never got round to that I thought I'd like, and the Steam Deck just helps give everything a new lease of life. I'm really impressed with that. Said this game works really well. You're going to set up your traps. You're going to fight different waves. So often you'll take a break. You have got the ability to change weapons. I think you can move to some magic weapons, maybe some ice, some lightning, or some fire. Didn't use those much. Really liked the crossbow. You've also got a melee weapon, but I didn't use that. Again, the crossbow seems to work really well for me. Felt satisfying. In Deathtrap, I always played the wizard, and therefore I had some range. I like to have range. I like to maybe stand still, shoot. I don't think there's any dodge function here. You can jump, but there's no dodge or anything. So you're just looking to back up when you have to, but mostly you're going to be relying on your traps. I got stuck occasionally on the levels, but I think that was more me to play the game or not setting it up right. You're really going to be looking for how many paths are there, what you have to protect. Sometimes there's 2 gates that you're going to have to protect, so you really need to know where they are. You're going to look for your best choke points. You can actually set up barricades in order to direct the waves at different place. I think it's one of the final levels. You've maybe got 8 different paths to a single gate, but you can block. I blocked 6 of them because that way they were coming almost to the same point. It's quite useful to be able to use the blockades. You can't completely block off a route, otherwise they will burst through the blockade, and it's kind of ruining, so you're wasting your money then. Maybe try to avoid that. But this game surprised me, and I'm not quite sure why it's taken me 15 years to complete it when I've owned it over 2 different platforms, and I have tried it Steam Deck and PC before. Maybe I'm just in the mood for it at the moment, but really surprised me. Looking forward to the others. If you've got any hints or tips for the other games, or you've played this and disagree with me, then let me know in the comments. And if you're looking for any more recommendations on similar games, ARPGs, maybe some tower defense, maybe some bullet hells, or my new one, which seems to be some sort of indie puzzle platformers, 2D, 3D, something like that, then please do subscribe because it really helps the channel. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm Bifties. See you all next time.